Hello, this is Jeremy Sneed here, founder and creative director of Mediajuice Studios. This week on Anatomy of a Trailer, we are talking about Texas Tech, a university in Lubbock, Texas. So Texas Tech School of Law reached out to Mediajuice and needed a recruitment video. They have a fantastic law school there at Texas Tech that they wanted to kind of get the word out to aspiring law students about their criminal clinics and advocacy programs and all the wonderful work that they do there. So we got into the creative process. Really, step one with this project was learning all about their criminal clinics, their advocacy programs, and everything that they're doing there that would be interesting to an aspiring student. Immersion is the word that comes to mind. Looking at the history of tech law, what they're doing now and what they have planned for the future, the alumni, the professors that are working there now, students that are graduating, students that are coming in, and building a script, building a concept that would give us the footage that we needed to come back and put together the final video. And then from there, we traveled to Lubbock and we used one day for scouting. There's kind of two parts to Tech School of Law now. The old part that's been there for years and years, and then there's a new wing that has just been added recently that's state-of-the-art and gorgeous. The old part is actually beautiful as well. The thing just feels like a castle. So it's this awesome combination of old and new that made for some great visuals. And so, when you're shooting interviews, it's always a good rule of thumb. Try to vary up your locations. So what we did was we looked in this mock trial room, which has actually been used for real trials. And we ended up shooting most of the interviews in there. But what we would do is we would just situate the cameras for one interview pointing in one direction and orientation. And then for another interview, reset, maybe flip around and look at the reverse side of the courtroom. And that does require some set dressing. So bringing the flags in or bringing what you have around. And that's something that, especially working in documentary, is don't be afraid to move things around in your environment. You can always put it back. And then, of course, when we're traveling for shoots, we'll use a portable airy kit with different lights and gels that we can paint the background or foreground with. The next part to the shoot is shooting B-roll. So as I've mentioned before, part of any documentary video is B-roll. So we went about shooting just as much B-roll as we could, from exteriors to interiors to the professors' offices to the classrooms, just to get a variety of shots that we could use for B-roll. Shoot more than you need, because you can always have extra, but you can never go back without completely redoing the entire shoot. Once we had all of our interviews and B-roll shot, we ingest that footage into our media server, and then we separate that out to content editors and B-roll editors. Step one in the editing process is just editing down those sound bites of all the interviewees into something usable. We had 45 minutes to an hour of footage, and then editing that down into a 5 or 10 minute video takes some skill. One of the key features that Tech School of Law wanted to highlight was their criminal clinics. And so we've got each one of the professors and students talking about that topic.
They handle real criminal cases.
You realize how important that work truly is and how important this clinic truly is to this law school.
Our clinical programs are far and away better than anyone else's.
And so we want to go in and find the very best takes, edit that down. We go into B-roll, which is then cutting in all the different establishing shots, people, classes, students. From there is music, and for this we actually provided the client with a few options that were kind of off the beaten path. The obvious choice here is music that's tonally in the vein of education, that was energetic. The music is really what drives the timing of most of our videos. Sometimes we'll cut visuals and have one of our composers create music specifically for that video, but more times than not, we'll create a track or we'll source a track that has the right elements there. And so finding that piece of music that we can then edit our visuals to is typically what we do, and I feel like it's a great process that's not only efficient, but gives a lot of creative opportunities for music that's been created already. So we edited the visuals to the music. We created a graphics package that was contemporary. Sometimes it's good to press the boundaries a little bit on graphics for what seems safe and not safe for a client. Sometimes it's interesting to bring in some graphics and animation that's maybe something that they haven't seen before, because that means their audience and their demographic, maybe they haven't seen it either, and that could be just what they're looking for to kind of move the needle on visual interest and get more views. Voiceover, we didn't use voiceover for this one since it's interviews. That was our voiceover.
It's a very big community of like-minded people that you can learn from.
The final piece cut together nicely, and Tech School of Law was very pleased with it, and we'll be doing more videos for Texas Tech in the coming months. So check out the Texas Tech School of Law recruitment video by Mediajuice Studios. Thanks, guys.